for so many kids, boy, what a year it's been for them. But usually in the summertime, we know that there is always that learning loss in the summertime.
Yes.
But what's it like this year because of the pandemic? Do they have extra catching up to do? So let's bring in Julie Moore. She's the early childhood specialist over at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Julie, great to have you with us. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you guys.
I hope yours is going a little bit better than ours over here, but
Sounds like it, yes.
I made no secret. The public library is one of my absolute favorite places. And when I was a little kid, I remember walking to the public library every Saturday and just getting lost in the books for hours. How is it this year? Are you guys open? Is it pretty much back to normal?
Well, we are open. We are returning to normal. We are not quite at full normal yet, but we are returning to that phase at this time. So right now we're still asking that people limit their visits to about 45 minutes in the building, but they are able to come in, browse the material, check out those items on their own. So that really does give the children especially, and even our adults, it just takes touching that book to find the right one. So we're glad that people are able to come in at this point.
Because it is so different than looking online, and you recommended for you and this, that, and the other, but it's still, I feel like you don't explore or, discover new authors or new topics because you're not browsing the shelves. And we know we don't really have bookstores anymore.
This is true. That's true. Yeah, it's definitely a different experience to try and catch that book that you love online. And, we tried our best to get those lists out there, that things that you might love if you loved this type of book or this author. And those are always great, and those are always going to be available. But just being able to, like you said, browse those shelves and see those titles in front of you, you never know what's going to speak to you when you see it right in your face.
So how is it on the children's side of the house? Which, by the way, I wish I was a kid so I could go and play at the library. I mean, when we were little, it wasn't that cool.
Right. I mean, right now we're still operating in that less capacity stage. And so in the children's room, our toys are still not available. We're still not having those items out for children to be able to come in and hang out. So it's really more of an opportunity just to come in and browse those collections and get those books. And we've really tried to put up some displays that kind of catch your eye and bring some new titles to the forefront, and to bring just some joy and excitement as you walk into the room, because it definitely is not the place that you left a year and a half ago at this point, but it will be back, and it'll be better than ever.
Again, we're talking with Julie Moore. She's the early childhood specialist over at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. And we know the summer slide that, normally happens outside of a pandemic. Is it worse this year?
Well, I mean, a general summer sees about a 20% decrease in academic skill for our children, especially our elementary age children, as they head back to school in the fall.
Wow.
While the pandemic is making that number, slightly elevated, our elementary students were really kind of going throughout the year a little strong on staying in the same type of learning environment with that hybrid model at the West Bloomfield schools. So we're not seeing a huge spike yet, but it'll be interesting to see what happens as we head back in the fall. But that 20% is a big number, and just by reading, the experts say about 4 books a summer. 4 books during the summer can really keep that 20% slide from happening at any time. So it really doesn't take a lot of work to help our kids during the summer. So we're just excited that they can get those books so that we can get those 4 books read throughout the summer.
So with that, I know that the library typically has a summer reading program. How does that look this year?
So our summer reading program is back this year. At this point, we are numbers are looking really good. People are enrolling. People are coming. Our families and our adults alike are taking part in summer reading. This summer, you can read to earn books from our summer reading book fair, but then we also have some fun little activities that you can do at home that just kind of strengthen your learning and your skills throughout the summer. So it may be something as simple as reading a different type of book than you normally read, or it may be something like doing a little special craft project where this summer our theme is Tales and Tales, and so maybe you're making an animal out of recycled materials to just kind of make your own little animal craft for the summer. So we've tried to pull in reading and learning and put them together in a fun, easy way for families to do together.
So we know that, kids under the age of 12 still cannot be vaccinated. So is there some type of program for parents that are uncomfortable with, taking their kids into public places?
Right. At this time, we still are running all of our summer programs virtually. So if parents and children alike want to join for magic shows and puppet shows each week, we meet on Tuesdays at 10:30, where we have a fun show that we present. And then each week we also have an early childhood program where our families can check out a backpack that they use from home that has materials in it that we learn with together. And then there's a school age section as well with library adventures where school agers check out at the same type of backpack. One of the librarians are online with you once a week, and we do science and math and different types of building and learning together so that we can keep that mind active throughout the summer.
And that's so much more fun than just allowing your kids to veg out in front of the TV or in front of the computer, watching and, playing games or this, that, and the other. They're actually still learning.
Right. It's a very intentional use of screen time. So there's a method to what we're doing. There's a reason behind the learning that we're bringing forth. And it really does give that screen time just a nice a reason to be on there, a good learning time for them.
Plus, when you get that alert from your tablet, it says your screen time is up, 5 hours of whatever amount of time. Although I will say over the past year, I'll throw that out the window, right?
Yeah, I know, right? That was a really nice ad from Apple at a good time, right?
Right, exactly. And so can I ask too, how do you keep the programs engaging virtually? How do you come up with them?
Yeah, really just kind of taking the best of what we do in person and bringing it online. But by creating those backpacks where the children at home are being able to touch the same materials that we're touching at the same time really makes all the difference. And we do have programs where we maybe don't have that backpack. And in those programs, we try to make sure we're doing active movement and engaging activity where the kids are up, down, moving around with us. It really just tries to keep their engagement with us. And we keep the numbers lower so that the kids that are joining us, we are able to interact with one-on-one. And so like the library adventures and the preschool programs both had to add programs because of the interest that we had. But we try to keep the group down to a minimal size so that we can be able to see what they're doing, talk to them specifically, call out children by name, really makes the whole experience much more like being together.
I was shocked when I went to, I think someone had a baby or something. I was looking at books. I couldn't believe how expensive children's books are now. And I was like, whoa. And you think about kids and they have so many, especially at the younger age because they like to tear the pages and all of that. So the library really is value. It's so valuable, that library card.
Yeah, it really it makes such a difference, and the items that we have available expand so far beyond the books that are in the library. And it just occurred to me as you were asking about what people could do if they're not comfortable coming into the library. The library does still offer a very robust e-resources services. So we have a lot of stuff available to families online. And that could be something as easy as reading a book online through Tumble Books, where you can pull the book up in front of you and read it with your child, or your older children can read it on their own, all the way up to the MAP program, which is, if you haven't used one of the MAP passes yet, they are a phenomenal experience. Basically, you're checking out a pass from the library to art museums in the neighborhood. And many of them are free admission or discounted heavily for you to be able to take your family in. So there's a lot of experiences available online that you don't need to come into the library to do if you're still not in that place.
Julie Moore with us here on the MegaCast. She's the early childhood specialist over at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. And Julie, can I ask you, I know that so many places are still struggling getting enough employees. How is the staffing level over at the library right now?
So, we were extremely lucky on the West Bloomfield Library Board made sure that all of our staff stayed working throughout the pandemic, and we did not have any furloughs. We did not have any layoffs. We all have worked and kept our jobs moving to keep the library going strong, so that all these services can be available at all times. So we're looking pretty good right now.
I know that, excuse me, I know that you probably don't see this so much because you are dealing with the kids, and these kids are so tech savvy. I mean, like a 2 and 3, they can through a computer or a phone like you wouldn't believe. But I know sometimes too, I think about their parents and trying to get them to go digital and teaching them how to download books and utilize the services that are online. How's that been?
So we can help patrons do that, and that service is starting to come back, where we'll be offering, one-on-one tech time where we work with patrons to help them with those experiences. So our adult staff members really work well getting our adults onto that technology. As parents come in with their children, we were able to kind of steer them along into the areas that they need to be. And then we have a full e-resources guide online. So when they're looking for an ebook or they're looking to use one of those services, it does give a full breakdown of what you need to download, how you work it, what to click and when to click it, and it really walks you through each individual step.
Yeah, I think you should get like a virtual assistant that's like a 9 or a 10-year-old.
Right? Yeah. They're probably better than we are.
Right? I mean, these kids are amazing now,
Yes.
and how quickly they pick up using the technology.
Absolutely. They really do. They teach us sometimes more than we teach them when it comes to the tech, that's for sure.
I don't know how many Sunday dinners I was sitting next to my niece and nephew. Show me that Snap thing again.
Right.
Forget TikTok. I can't figure out how to make videos on TikTok to save my life. So, Julie Moore with us again on the MegaCast from the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. And Julie, before we say goodbye, any other programs or anything else you want to touch on?
An interesting program that we have going on that's new this summer is our West Bloomfield Library on the Craft kits. So each week, families can sign up to receive a craft bag from the library that gives you a specific project for the week. So this week we're moving into spin drums, and it gives you all the materials to make the spin drum at home, as well as a video with one of us showing you how to make the craft, as well as some directions inside. So those have been going really well throughout the summer. Our patrons seem to be really enjoying the crafts, and it just giving another thing for families to do together at home. So we've really tried to look at ways to keep our families engaged and that learning strong all summer long.
Do you think some of these programs are going to stick around?
I think so. I think there's a few that we have found that really are working well, and we also found that maybe once like the whole virtual burnout fades away, that there may be a place for a nighttime story time online, and there may be a place for certain things to kind of continue in that fashion. So we'll see how that goes as we move forward.
Julie Moore with us here on the MegaCast, early childhood specialist over at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Julie, we always appreciate having you on. Thank you for spending time with us this Monday morning.
Thank you, guys. I hope your day only goes up from here.
Exactly. Right.
It only can. Yes.
Well, Julie, a happy week to you. And again, to all the parents out there, take advantage of the library and all that it has to offer and keep your kids engaged this summer.